everybody. Hello, welcome to Rumbi and Senders. And I'm going to say happy Wednesday to you guys. I hope you're well. And a shout out to you guys. And welcome. Welcome, everyone. If it's your first time to come across this channel, please don't forget to subscribe. And make sure that you ring the bell so that every time I'm live, you'll be notified immediately. Let me send some shout out and love to everyone who always join us every time we're live. I want to say I appreciate you and I'm so grateful that you are here. All right, guys, don't forget to like the live so that at least we can push algorithm and invite everyone else to come through. Can I tell you, we are on a countdown to 60,000 subscribers. We were sitting at about, this evening, we were around, we left with about 40 people, I think. I guess Liz is here, Nessa, Moses, good to see everybody. I'm so glad you're here. James, good to see you, man. I'm so glad you guys are here. Thank you guys for coming through. Okay, you've seen the headline. Nelson Chamisa's blue train confirmed is focusing on Team Zimbabwe. I'm so glad to hear that because you've seen many people crying for the Team Zimbabwe saying, we are tired. These elections are not helping us at all. ZANU-PF is always play us dirty, so it's time. Ambassadors of Peace, good to see you, man. And Strive Masiwa, they are alleging that he is being funded, funding ZANU-PF's oppressive regime. Whew. This is actually Apostle Chiwenga, right? You know, Chiwenga's brother. Because he said, I've been working the system. I know how the system works. I'm like, okay, for us, we just listen to you. And we'll give you a platform to also tell the world has to know. Zimbabweans across the world need to know if that is correct. But I think ZANU-PF on their own, they will rebut if it's not true. We're waiting for someone to debunk that. You know what I mean? Okay, guys, because we are here, we're waiting other people to come through. I just want to tell you that it's also Trinuch Norma. By the way, remember, we haven't left like this Triple C fully. We've got our people who still and we actually voted in under Citizen Coalition for Change. And we said we can't let Songezo and his cabal run away with the funds. Otherwise, the funds must be taken and go buy medication in hospitals to benefit us Zimbabweans, right? Yeah, so we're going to be playing our song while everybody else is coming. Drop your blue hearts, please. Just in solidarity with, by the way, guys, I want to tell you, one of that angle of us who went to heaven to be with the Lord. And I'm like, may God keeps his soul, you know, so that when we get home, we can all just be celebrating life. I don't know if you remember him. I'm going to play one of his videos here so that you guys can hear him speaking. An old man, what a blessing. He went to heaven to go to be with the Father. So take a listen, please.
Imi muchingo kununguna muriko kuseri uko muchinyanya idza zvinoreva Chamisa asima kanganwa here chazuro nehope iyo mweya yeZANU inokuita mvemve.
All right. Right there.
Ndoda kuona vachamisa ndivaudze zviri kuitika. Ndoda kuona mukomana ndimuudze zviri kuitika. Kumajere hakuna uchi, muzvipatara muna uchi. Kumasoja hakuna uchi, kumapurisa hakuna uchi. Kumaticha hakuna uchi, kumanesi hakuna uchi, kumakombi hakuna uchi. Ayaya. Ndoda kuona vachamisa oe, ndivaudze zviri kuitika. Ndoda kuona vachamisa, ndivaudze zviri kuitika. Kubaraki hakuna uchi, kumakamba hakuna uchi.
everybody. Drop your location, y'all. Drop your location. We don't fall. Yes, yeah, good to see everybody and welcome to Ruby Uncensored. It's so good to see you guys. Just to remind you guys that today apparently the old man went to heaven to be with the Lord, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. Yeah, what an amazing old man he was. Literally, I want to remind you of what he once said. Incredible remarks right there. I think he's actually coming from where I come from in Mashingo. Amazing old man, amazing. I want you to hear him speaking. Yeah, he was so positive about the change that is coming. Please take a listen. Okay.
Vanhu vanobuda here mupano.
Nyika
yose anema wazadza. Ukangotaura zezano uri kwedu kubhikita tinokukava.
All right, so that was him actually. So he went home to be with the Father. So yeah, may his soul rest in eternal peace. His life is being celebrated. I've seen a lot of people sending their condolences. You're more than welcome to do so even here. Drop your condolences. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Now we move forward, and I'm going to read Nelson Chamisa's message that he sends out this evening. He said, "A blow to the Citizens Project. The passing of Mr. Manyatera, that was his name, Wazadza, a nickname, is a huge subtraction to #Citizen Power. He was a true citizen leader, changing our political landscape in a remarkable and organic ways. His contribution is testament to the power of citizenocracy, right? That citizen philosophy and signifies the importance of every voice as we journey towards a great new Zimbabwe. New Zimbabwe is around the corner, y'all. Even in death, you will continue to inspire citizens, especially the young, to contribute towards the building of a great nation path. He reminds us that ordinary citizens can achieve extraordinary feats in the quest to build a new great Zimbabwe. He serves as proof that the people's struggle is driven from the base and by the grassroots, 100%. And he wasn't in for the positions like, the few, the Xray Mvuma in the cabal, they were after position. These ones are the elders who believed in leaving a great legacy, and they actually did, because now I'm celebrating everyone. I'm celebrating him on social media. And say may his soul rest in peace, and also say may our God comfort the family and our citizens' family. And I've seen people were giving their monies out there for Chema, you call it, right? Yeah, So you're more than welcome to check in on social media and see how you can be able to stretch your hand and be of a blessing to the family, as we all mourn together and celebrate a life well lived. Then we're going to move on to Mr. Gift Ostalosi. So he had an incredible interview. Let me tell you one thing that people don't realize. People have been talking out there and saying, oh, Nelson Chamisa is just doing them sort of work. This man does not have a direction. I'm asking myself, I'm like, what do you know about direction? What do you really know about direction? Because they think that Nelson Chamisa is alone. No, he isn't. He's got such a great people around him. I'm saying great people. I think one of the persons, actually, Atam Tambara, is a man of wisdom, a man of great mind. They are there to give him direction. So he's not alone. For those who are thinking, Tenebiti and Washman, no, don't worry about that. They saw the struggle, they wanted the money, they got the money. But that's not the issue here. We are focusing on freeing Zimbabwe so that at least everyone can be living in a country that gives you opportunity to everyone, not just a few of people, where people are being treated with respect, where freedom of speech is important, where ideas are respected, and our people actually being given an opportunity to live a life of purpose. That's the country that we're all fighting for. So let's hear out the Gift Ostalosi. He has to be able to give you the information that you always have been looking for, because I know majority of people used to say, no, Nelson Chamisa is a dictator, he's an aspired dictator, because he has nobody around him. It's a lie. I'm one of a person who is not into a groupie person. Naturally, I'm not into groupies. I'll tell you, because I'm afraid of the energies that I can receive. So I do love people, but I'm not always with people. And reason being, I'm afraid of bad energies. So I'm really much into myself, but I'm a lover of men. I think that's where Nelson Chamisa is, just because he's not gallivanting with people and listening to everyone who's just saying anything for the sake of saying. And again, considering how toxic our political space is, that's one of the reasons why he's just minding his business and doing his things. And he's not much into people. That doesn't mean that he's a bad person. Take a listen, please, from Gift Ostalosi.
C for the C, the applicant and the respondent to the founding affidavit have continued to use my face on their preferred logo. I wish to reiterate that I have no current special association with any color, any political organization, or any movement. Close quote. So how far true are these, rumors that you've been influencing almost every decision that Chamisa is made with regards to the opposition politics? Look,
President Chamisa Ola has so many advisors of quality and substance and credibility. I've had a privilege to, at some stage, to just witness when we're doing the documentary, The President, to witness him and his team whenever he makes decisions. And these are people with credentials. These are people of substance. Some of them are grey-haired people and people with different experiences in our body politic. So it is not possible to have people like myself dubbed his advisors. I'm not an advisor. I'm an executor. I have got the mandate.
So you don't influence?
I don't influence
President or anything. Chamisa. So what about that statement that I read for you?
Look, President Chamisa was taken to court by the same dimwits. They challenged him that he was in control of some office. He made it very clear that I don't have association. These people have said to him, you are not a leader. You don't lead us. You are a dictator. We don't believe in you. We believe in the three presidents. But the three presidents can't put their faces there. They still want to use President Chamisa's face, even if three of them are presidents. They don't want to use their beautiful faces. They want to use that of a dictator. So that is the irony about these people. And he expressed himself clearly in the court that, look, I have no association with that party. And I wish and I pray that the Honorable Court can actually give me a spoiling order against these people. Sengizo Chabang went to the Senate to be sworn in as a senator. He's using a letterhead with the face of President Chamisa. Because alone Sengizo Chabang is a non-entity. Some of these
But
people...
they're claiming that the party logo is the official logo with his face.
That is, they are ahistoric.
Yeah.
That is ahistoric because the CCC, the official logo of the CCC was a sign, a CCC with a black dot in the center. That is the logo of the CCC. The thing with the face of President Chamisa is actually a symbol which was used for the purpose of an election. It is not a party logo. The CCC logo has no face, but these people now, because they are not part of CCC, they were never part of CCC, so they don't know that the CCC in its website and all these other things that we're developing as communication department didn't have a logo with the president. In fact, you can go even public. I communicated by then as a deputy spokesperson, and Fadzai as our spokesperson, that this is the logo of the CCC and this is the election symbol. But they don't know that. That's why in their correspondence they put the face of President Chamisa. His face was never in the official correspondence of the CCC.
There was
It was a symbol.
There was a comment on X by Charlton Wende while responding to Willard Madzimbamuto, who had described your blue movement as a fictitious and deceptive factional agenda. So Wende then said, and I quote, "This is what is happening and a correct assessment of what is happening. People who store money for election agents are the ones driving this deception." Did you guys steal the party's money?
Look, I said it very clear when this issue was asked to me by journalists. We don't hold funds. There is no way. Funds is not my remit. My remit is journalists and meeting the crowd. That's my remit. That's my official mandate. No one talks to me in the CCC about issues of my hand. But there are people designated with that responsibility. And it is no way in the office of the deputy spokesperson. And then the issue of factions. President Chamisa left CCC. So there can only be a faction if the party is there. There's no party now, so there can't be factions. And that's why we later had a conversation with the youngster to communicate his issues and what he meant by the tweet, because it was misconstrued, misunderstood, and people were very agitated. I went to across the country, people were agitated, and to explain himself to the citizens, to say, this is what I meant, and so forth. And that's why we then had to have him in some of these programs where he had to clarify to people who had questions about his tweet. And like I said, there's nothing called the Blue Movement. What is there are citizens organizing themselves. And we are unequivocally driving that momentum. And that momentum, only we are driving it with the mandate from the people, without fear, without hesitation. We are doing so on behalf of the oppressed people of our country.
Right.
And we have no regrets about
So they were just,
executing that responsibility.
allegations.
There were no allegations. They were just tweets.
Okay.
And those tweets, it had those people to have them corrected and so forth. And in fact, for us, there was nothing to correct because they were not directed at us. But when people asked it in relation to me in particular, I made it very clear that it's not my remit. So I have no conversation that includes those issues, but there are people that deal with it.
So what are your thoughts on the current state of politics in our country?
I think that there is a huge crisis in Zimbabwe. A crisis that is born out of how we conduct elections. Elections always from time to time leave Zimbabwean society divided than united. It has set this extremely binary interpretation of political realities, either you're this or that. So our people are extremely divided on the basis of politics. And politics is because of the way we conduct the election. I believe that we must deal with the way we conduct elections. And the only way to do it is that we must have as Zimbabweans. And that's why when we were calling for a dialogue, it was a dialogue on the basis of how do we resolve this vicious cycle of disputed election. We converse about critical reforms. We converse about the critical things that bind us together as a nation.
Right.
So that when we go into an election, whether it is a CCC or a ZAP or a ZANU candidate that wins, all of us must say congratulations.
Yeah.
And we can only do that if we are satisfied about the process. So that is what we must deal with. We believe that we must conduct an election that is credible, an election that is fair in the hands of everyone. The 2023 election is even worse But it is no longer the opposition having complaints. It is SADC, it's the African Union and the European Union who are saying the elections were not proper. So what we must do is we must fix how we conduct elections. Once we do that, we have cured the permanent problem that has been arresting our country for the past 4 decades.
Okay. How do you see yourself, contributing to the political discourse in Zimbabwe moving forward?
I see myself, I rarely speak on, it's the first time in an interview to go into an interview where I speak about myself.
Yes.
Most of the time I speak on behalf of the people, and I rarely speak about, my personal interests because I've no such mandate. But I see myself contributing to the development of the alternative in this country.
Yeah.
I'm not a person who's motivated by positions. I've seen it with the 99 generation. The 99 generation, like the liberation generation, has got this underlying feeling
Obsession.
that we started this, we founded this.
Obsession.
And it's not all of them. It's a few individuals. There are so many progressives in that class, so many of them. I've met with veterans who are very progressive in this country. So when you talk about these are elements within the liberation generation who get so much fixated in positions that because we fought. So you guys, what is special about being a president? What is special about being a minister? You just walk around cutting ribbons. There is nothing extraordinary, or like you yourself can wake up being the president of this country.
Yeah.
I can tell you there is nothing extraordinary
Agreed.
about being a head of state or being a minister. It's even worse. When you become a minister or NP, I used to see some of these our ZANU MPs in parliament. Most of them, to show that they know that there's nothing special, they go to parliament, especially the new building, because there's breakfast there, there's lunch, there are salads there. They go there, they queue, they take coffee and bread. They go to parliament, they sleep.
I saw one of your, maybe some of your MPs as well sleeping in the parliament.
I haven't seen any MP when during a debate sleeping in parliament. But I witnessed myself ZANU PF members of parliament sleeping during discourses of national importance during my stay in
When they
parliament.
always sleep.
So it shows that to them, they know that beyond getting coupons and flashing cars, there is nothing extraordinary about being an MP.
Sad.
I grew up in the ghetto, I became an MP. There is nothing special about being an MP. I say this in relation to positions. I don't see myself occupying important positions. If I'm asked today where I want to go, I don't want to be deployed in an important political position. I want to be deployed where the appointing authority or the voters or the members would see me fit in terms of my capabilities. And I'm sufficient and I'm happy where I'll be deployed. I'm not motivated, and I hate to speak about myself because I always want to speak about the collective.
Yes.
I have so much disdain about people who are motivated by position. I think that we must be motivated by the agenda to see change in our country. As long as we have a collective team that is able to change our bread and butter situation, then all of us should be happy. All of us can go to the academy, which I think I'll retire to.
So in conclusion, Comrade Wastalos, would you encourage youth to be active in politics?
I'll encourage young people to participate actively in the politics of our country for fundamentally the following reasons. Number one, you cannot allow the present to hold the future in suffocation. Young people are the major victims of the crisis in our country. 97% of young people are jobless. So I encourage the participation of young people. Because if you don't, someone else is deciding their future.
Yeah.
I was in parliament during budget processes. The Minister of Finance, Ola, is borrowing on behalf of the current generation and on behalf of the future generations. All of us, me and you, are going to service a domestic and external debt, which we don't know where the money went to.
Yeah.
Currently, we are servicing a debt to the Bank of Brazil, Bank of England, and World Bank and the IMF, a debt that was borrowed by Mugabe. not to feed our people, but to thwart opposition then as was led by Tsvangirai. So I encourage young people to participate. Not everyone obviously can be so direct, but it is important to be conscious, simple things. Just exercise your right to vote. It doesn't matter whether you vote for President Chamisa or for Nkosana Moyo or for Kisnot Mukwashi, but exercise that right. You know why? When you vote tomorrow, when they don't account, you're able to call them. Why it is difficult for some of us to perform badly is because people call us to account. They say, you, Ostalos, we gave you this mandate. So I can't claim that I did it on my own. There are people who become stockholders.
Yes.
So you must say, when you're underpaid, when teachers are not paid, when they're voting, they know that we voted for a government, and the government must give us a salary above what the poverty line. When soldiers get a salary below PDL, they must do so because they say, we have voted for a government, and that government must account. That does not apply only now, it applies to present and to the future. In that way, we are able to build politicians that account to their people. People must not have, particularly young people, must not be bought by scars and money. Take the money coming from the politician. I said to the youngsters, this guy stole from the poor. He's now giving cars and flashing things to the same oppressed people. Take it, because it was taken from taxpayers' money in a case they had against a parastatal. So it is taxpayers' money. It is not their money. It's not hard-earned money. It's not money that has been worked for. They can clamor, they can say whatever they want. It's not hard-earned money. It's not authentic. It's money that is born out of looting of taxpayers' money. You know of the Zeta scandal. And I wouldn't want to go there. But young people now, you cannot wake up thinking that there's a miracle that is going to come from these fake prophets. One of them who fall in a stage there. All those clowns, they can't be an inspiration to young people. You can't be inspired by thieves. You can't be inspired by people who have not worked. You must work. You must wake up in the morning, Ola, and go to your workstation at 7.
I understand, but are you saying we don't have millionaires in Zimbabwe?
We have authentic millionaires. Xray Mvuma is a legitimate billionaire in this country. With people who have credible wealth in this country, it's unquestionable, Ola. It doesn't need you to wear a scarf to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
And we know those who have stolen funds. I don't need to say their names because obviously they would invoke. They've said bad things about myself. I've not sued them because they are clowns, they are charlatans, and they're not worth the political discourse that some of us are involved in.
I want to ask you something before we conclude, Comrade Ostalos, about the sanctions removal. What do you think? I saw the...
This sanction thing is also another thing of just wasting time, honestly, like wasting our time. All right, so I think the most important part that I was looking for here was the direction of which this blue train is heading. You heard him saying that we are focusing on the Team Zimbabwe, which is a very, very important approach. I've actually heard different political analysts also still are pursuing the same, that, you know, ZANU-PF has really been playing the people of Zimbabwe through the election. There won't be no free and fair election if reforms are not in place, and if this election can still be, monitored by ZEC. I don't want to talk about ZEC. Actually, there's no ZEC. There's nothing, absolutely nothing. These guys are simply messing up with our destiny. It's a fact. They are wasting our time, they're wasting our energy, and they mess up with our minds. You know, they rope us into all these sectors, and then they just keep quiet and run away, come in, drop some numbers, and then they disappear. How many people have heard from Priscilla Chigumba from the time Justice spoke that day, wearing that suit? Simply just wasting our time. They are really, really disrespecting the people of Zimbabwe. It's not a political issue. They're very disrespectful. And I can't wait for a day. I cannot wait for a day where, guys, you must put this on record. I can't wait for a day where we are going to be asking Chigumba. I know then she will be getting old at that time. We'll tell her, why were you so evil towards your own brothers and sisters? Was that worth it? I can't wait for a day, because one day some people will be answerable. I don't know, the other people that are going to be finding it difficult to move around in town, to actually go outside and go to the shops and do some shopping, it's going to be difficult, because you know that you have been hating the very same people, and how are you going to look squarely into their eyes? It's like it's like a man who's just playing women around. You get to a point where you can't even, people just look at it like, oh, please, not this again. You will lose your own personal flavor or aroma. I just can't stand what I see in Zimbabwe. I can't stand it. It's been this political, it's just simply a waste of my time. Honestly, I see these fake prophets rolling the red carpets, doing all manner of nonsense. Again, another pandemic that we need to deal with are fake prophets. I'm going to deal with that when I look at that apostle man that has been, keeping people, out of their will and do all manner of things. We'll look into that story a little bit later. But we heard Osalo's made it very clear. The goal really is to build a better Zimbabwe for all. That's the goal. And again, like I said, because there's so many leaders that are working with Nelson Chamisa, I think they've said to him, listen, these people in elections don't buy it. It's a lie. If there's no reform, if these elections cannot be monitored by outsiders, we are simply wasting our time. We are simply wasting our time, which makes me even ask questions. Where is the army? I mean, the army that we celebrated in 2017, is this the Zimbabwe they wanted for us? Like, are they proud of the work that they did? I don't know. May his soul rest in peace. What's his name? Moyo, SB Moyo. But when he's in heaven, is this the life that he was telling us we should be part and parcel of? Because what is that? What is this? Zimbabwe is not being like a joke. Everyone, when they hear about Zimbabwe, is like, oh, here we go again with those people that are not serious about life. With such an amazing people, a blessed people, educated community, but again, just living like zombies because there are few people who hold a gun and said, you can't leave. It's wrong. Honestly, it's wrong. It has to be stopped. This is not a political issue. Sometimes we need to tell each other the truth and say, if I don't tell you the truth, I'll be held accountable before God. Because I knew what was right. You better hate me, but I want to tell you the truth. So what you're doing, it's wrong. You need to stop it. Fix the country for everybody. How much money do you want? You have got the money. You've got the land. You have houses. You've got cars. Your kids are overseas. What more do you want? Our blood? Our blood so you can feel better. You need to stop. You really need to stop and start treating us like human beings. Because of the greedy and money, that's why our politics is toxic. Now we have Mr. Sangezo Shavangu, who just came from nobody. He came from Norway. People are saying he was a street kid. He was literally selling bananas. Came from the street being given the powers that he does not deserve to literally recall, elected officials who are supposed to be there to serve the people of Zimbabwe. Sangezo Shavangu came through and just caused a mess. From nowhere, this man, I didn't even know who he was. So he was attending Triple C rallies and take pictures, selfies, acted like he was a member. But he wasn't. You heard Gift Gonzalez telling you that they didn't even know that whatever they're calling a logo is not a logo. Nelson Chamisa's face is not the Triple C's logo, apparently. But because they don't know, because they were not members, they were just being used to cause chaos. But you know what? How long is that going to last? How long is that going to last? Now he's after the money. Sangezo Shavangu want the money from, for money for the elections. I'm sitting here and I'm asking myself, we had a flawed election, confirmed with proof, right? And the only thing you're focusing on is give me the money for as a Triple C, And what about all of us Zimbabweans? We don't matter. You and your friends. We have never seen nothing except just calling few people. You remember last time when he was in Malawi, you called a few people, he was like talking there, and you deserve to get money for the political party. I'm waiting if he can be given that money. I'm just waiting to watch. If he can be given the money. It's really sad. Our fathers, they are losing it. They are losing it. Honestly, they are losing it. But listen, what is the role of, why does he want money? Sangezo Shavangu wants some money from the government on behalf of Citizen Coalition for Change. So Newsday reported that Mr. Shavangu faction, they said Shavangu faction, is a claim to government windfall. They want the money. Mr. Shavangu is after the money, according to the letter dated March 6, addressed to the Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Ministry, and signed by CISO, the Triple C faction, pleaded with the government to speed up, listen, to speed up the process of funds disbursements. They're not talking about speed up having money in the hospital. No, they're talking about having medication in the hospital. Yeah, no, they don't care about that. They want money to their pockets. They want money into their pockets. Which is said, they don't care about the citizens. They don't care about what you guys feel or think. They want money into their pockets. So from the beginning, this was all about the money. Again, we know the people that are behind it. They will never have enough of looting in Zimbabwe. They keep on looting and looting. They take from the poor, they finish, they go to the roads, they loot. They come from the road, they leave. Now they're coming after the money for elections, they loot. I want to read a story that is very heartbreaking. That was actually written by Set Free today. He said, a few days ago, my daddy, his father, had an accident in which a car ran over his foot at Mvuma when he had stopped over for a rest at the food complexes there. I spent the whole day on the phone just following up what was happening in terms of him getting medical attention. He was unable to walk and needed a wheelchair, and the wheelchair below is what Mvuma Hospital has in their emergency department. It's unbelievable, but it is what it is. And this wheelchair is literally a mess. Like wrecked. It's just nothing. There's no wheelchair. Just Masimbi. Machira esa varuka. Then next, my daddy needed very strong pain medication. He was in severe pain and distress. The guy who had run him over had to run around and buy medication from private pharmacies. Hear this. There was no medication to actually be able to numb the pain of his daddy. They had to go look for the medication from different pharmacies, private pharmacies. How many people here with parents who can afford to run around? Maybe you don't have a car, you've been, someone have hurt you and you can't afford, you don't have no car, you have nothing. Guys, honestly, Zimbabweans, honestly, everyone who's taking the money, I want the case of God to visit them and their families and the children's children. 7 generations, they must pay for it. The case of God must visit every looter in Zimbabwe. All these corrupt individuals, they must pay for their evil ways. They can't just escape. Because the pain they're causing our people is unbearable. Evil, it must stop in that country. Then he said there came the issue of the Xray. Because you've been hurt now, they need to see how far you've been hurt. Mvuma Hospital didn't have no service. Hakuna service the Xray. And they to refer him to Chivhu Hospital. And before they moved, I told them to wait so that I would find out if Chivhu one was working. Get this right, guys. This is for real. Yeah. This is for real. Before they moved, okay, you asked it, please, let me check in with Chivhu. And I called, I was told the one was working, but there was no radiographer as good as not working. So it was working, but there was no radiographer. It means it wasn't working. That is Chivhu now. So we are talking of Mvuma, that is Mashingo, and now we are talking of Chivhu. There is no, there is no Xray. My sister got hurt. I don't know, she fell. But in a hospital, I'm talking about not even private hospital, but she's getting all the treatment she needs. She's got a day for her to be, operated. I'm talking about not expensive place at all where she stays. When countries are serious, our politics is evil. Politicians in Zimbabwe are evil. And these people have to face the wrath of God. They are evil. And I don't know how to explain. They are the most wicked individuals that does not deserve to live. Unfortunately, they don't deserve to live. They don't deserve to live in this world. Because it's one thing to make a mistake. It's another thing to be a wicked and evil person who literally thrive on causing people pain. They are worse than the devil himself, Lucifer, from hell, who moved to from and hating people. They are worse than devils. He said we later decided, and since he was going home, it was better to proceed to Mashingo. The guy who had run him over offered to drive him to Mashingo, but police Zimbabwe had a few questions, took both my daddy and the other guy to the police station. Lord have mercy. So the head person is supposed to go to, like the whole thing is, Sure. If it was me, I would be just crying all day long. But my daddy was in pain and still not assessed, only to tell them that the car had to be impounded because it was involved in an accident. Imagine, we had to organize as a family to pick him up and rush him to the doctor. It's the whole, it's like people that are hurting are not important. It's just chaos everywhere. And he also had to take that to Barbara Ronzi, that one, the minister, I think of tourism or something, said, do something, Mvuma Hospital Apple. Aye, man, guys, listen. Zimbabweans, listen carefully. This is not a joke. That's why I'm not playing about the politicians in Zimbabwe are evil. And these people deserve the wrath of God to visit them. The money they are looting, some of them should be sick with that money because of wickedness. They don't deserve peace. They don't deserve peace because the pain they've caused our people is unbearable, greedy. People, we are having a culture of just getting things without working for them. This is why there's a fight between Starlink and all. Starlink is a good, literally Wi-Fi or internet provider, but they can't because they are these middlemen who want to hijack the whole thing for their personal gain. Doing nothing. You think Starlink can have this whole strong network, and you, Mr. So-and-so, you have never done absolutely nothing? You want to come in between, just try to hijack the whole thing and loot from the poor? People don't know anymore there's something that's called purpose. That you are called for a purpose. You must work for money. You don't just get. People are creating projects that are not even existing so that they can loot and get away with it. May the curse of God visit you. If you are dipping your hands in the coffers of the government and take the money for your personal use, for your luxury, some of you must get HIV and suffer for your prostitution. Because majority of you are taking money to feed your slave queens at the expense of the people. You deserve to suffer. You don't deserve to live. You deserve to suffer because you're wicked. You must be told facts. You are wicked. It's wrong. Vanasengers, they think they just come here. You're going to be used to do wrong and then you get paid for that. No, you are claiming towards the money for politics. What's a messed up culture? What a wicked society that does not even have no feelings. They don't have no feelings. People don't care anymore. When you meet these people, you must tell them, I said, the money you're taking is going to trace your generation. Leave that money. That money is cursed. Leave it. Leave that money. You must not take, because let me tell you, the money they're taking is the taxpayers' money. There are people who are suffering to send just little money to Zimbabwe. Some people can't even eat. They're struggling. People in the diaspora, they're not just going to go and collect the money. Majority of people in diaspora are suffering. It's known. Sending money to their parents, you take money through taxes. You're just taxing people so that you can sponsor your lifestyle, your dirty lifestyle, not only your dirty lifestyle, at the expense of the poor. It is sad. Now there's this whole fight thing about Starlink, which I was shocked today. People can call a meeting to talk about data in 2024. If I'm sitting here, if I'm getting bored about I'm using, which one are we using in our house? We're using, we're using Home Connect. Wi-Fi, that's what we use. Home Connect, hey. I can phone whoever I want to choose whoever. If I'm not happy, I can say, yes, I'm not happy with your speed. I'm going to try someone else. But people have to be talking about data, to have a meeting to talk about data. Take a listen to them talking in a meeting, all grown-up men talking about data in a meeting, to leave homes and talking about data. Take a listen.
Honorable members, our own people are also an issue here. You look at bundles. There are a lot of our people who are on unlimited bundles. Now, when you talk of an unlimited bundle, it means that even if you do not sleep and you continue to be on your gadgets, you will not finish the data. Okay? But we all know that you can only use data up to a point. So if you buy an unlimited bundle, say for $140, there is no way you are going to use the data that is there. What is important is for you to try and assess and see how much data you really want. That is what you have to buy, not to go for the unlimited one, because there is a lot of data that you will not use, which will just go back to the operator, and you have not used it, and you don't even know how much you have used. So that is an issue that we have started trying to educate people, and we have asked the operators to educate people and not just to put those bundles there. Some of the unlimited bundles are made for 300 people. At a company, when you have a company, then you have, say, 300 people, all of them on the net at the same time, then you need those type of unlimited bundles. But most of the time we have them as individuals, and we are not utilizing them, but we are paying an arm and a leg for them, for what we are not using. Honorable members, our own people are also...
To call people for a meeting to talk about data. Did you just hear that? What is he trying to explain anyway? I didn't even get what he was trying to say. To call an entire people for a meeting to discuss data. Yeah. You know, I would respect these people if they can wake up and say, guys, we really don't know what we are doing. Can you please allow those who are good at what they're doing to do the job? You can call and entire people to sit around the meeting to talk about data. Like, what I don't even understand what he's talking about. You're talking about unkept. I can just sit here and say, okay, which data do you want? They can just send me an email and let me choose which one I want. Okay, I want this, or I don't want that. Let's move. I subscribe, I don't subscribe. It's that simple, but you have to call a meeting to talk about it. That can you see how behind we are? And now I also say the president was right when he said we are 1,000% behind in Zimbabwe. And someone can say to blame him. Do you blame him? No, I don't blame him. It's not the minister of this whole ICT and the people that does technology thing. He's not the one. We can't just keep on blaming the president. Some of the things we must take responsibility as Zimbabweans. Where are the young people? Where are the young ministers? Why can't they say, guys, we are wasting time here? We have no time to waste. The world is moving forward. Let's fix this whole thing. You know what I mean? The world is moving forward. We are so behind. I'm glad I'm here. That is Zim installing U10. They may consider Starlink. We're just waiting, but again, the fights are there. People want to hijack this whole thing for their personal gain. Again, corruption. You've heard how many deals that were booted out because there were people who wanted to be in between to loot. Again, my point is, why do other people think they have the right to just get in money that they don't work for? It's a pandemic. It's a pandemic. You need to work for the money. Don't just hijack projects that are not for you. Use your brain to think. What are you called to do? Many projects, really, many investors were booted because of greedy individuals who think they can hijack and take those projects to be theirs. Wrong and evil. It's not right. I do remember people say, I don't know if you guys have heard about Dangote. I also remember Kudam Saswa said there are people that wanted to buy the entire, to actually fix the entire Mbari, to make it like top class. Maflese destroyer, they were blocked again. By who? By thugs. Greedy individuals. I don't know why people can't mention names. Why can't you mention their names so that everyone can know who the person is? Mention their names. Put their names out there. Stop just saying so and so a politician. What's their name? Which politician? Say their name so that people know and they're exposed. Because you can't keep on protecting wrong. If we want to move forward as people of Zimbabwe, we must learn to speak the truth. Only truth will free Zimbabwe, not lies. I'm so glad that the direction we are taking is the direction of truth. The truth is coming out. No country has ever been built on lies, guys. It doesn't work like that. If a person blocks a deal or any investor, say it. It's Mr. So and so. So that all citizens know. Put it on record. In future, you know, that some people, it's going to be very hard for them to live in that country, unfortunately, because of the wrong they're doing. Because your wrongdoings will follow you wherever you go. It is what it is. I'm not the one. I'm not the one. And now I'm also hearing that Xray Mvuma allegedly is funding ZANU-PF's ruthless regime. I don't have that information, but the person who said it is actually Apostle Chichwenga. He said he has worked within the parameters of the state, so he knows he's funding, and he also upset that maybe the one that is blocking that we have Starlink. Honestly, I don't think that Xray Mvuma is capable of doing that. No, he's not that kind of person. I think sometimes, people just run with words that are not correct. Like, I can't defend him. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm saying I don't think he's that kind of a person, because he's a very professional businessman. Sometimes it's hard for a person to do right in a country like Zimbabwe. You know what I mean? Because of the dollar, dollar versus the local currency that is not stable, it's difficult to actually charge your products. I think it's very, very difficult, because the moment that dollar loses its value, you change the price. It's not your fault. It's simply because of the currency that is not stable. But let's take a listen to him, because he has been really attacking him. But because I saw that video is circulating, and for me, I just want to give my 2 cents of advice from a business point of view, that you know what, that's why I don't think I can ever run a business in Zimbabwe, considering the situation currently. I will never do it because it's stressful. The currency must be stable. People should not always want to cut corners or corruption, pay me for everything, pay me for free stuff. And I just can't stand it. I really cannot. Honestly, I don't think I would be able to do so. But let's hear him out, because he's alleging that he's funding the evil in the country. Take a listen.
God couldn't give Masiwa a scripture that talks about the resurrection of his son, so that Masiwa can improve and expand his predatory business empire. No. Masiwa's business empire is a vampire, especially to the people of Zimbabwe. It's drawing their blood. Yes. It's surviving by sucking blood from the people of Zimbabwe. And we that know God will never stop talking like this.
Amen.
Yes. It's a vampire.
Yes.
Why is Zimbabwe the most expensive place to buy internet data? To go one person, check out Imari, Southern Africa. He is the most expensive person who sells data. Most expensive all the time. Yes. If the government was responsible, they could have sued him and forced him to pay back the people who had bought his satellite system for the Kwese TV. But the government doesn't care about the people, just like him. So the people lost their money to unethical businesses, predatory businesses, and nothing happened to him. So when we see him trying to do Bible studies with his employees in his companies, conducting prayer sessions, those are crocodile tears. We do not admire. What he does is what matters. Every tree shall be known by its fruits. All right. These are just a limited example of his predatory tendencies. The issue is deeper than what I've said. But I do not want to make this service about him. But I want you to know kuti kana uchiita business, ziva zvinotenderwa naMwari nezvisingatenderwi naMwari. Urege kuzvitorera chituko. A few days ago, his wife almost fought with the people when she insulted the people of Zimbabwe, telling them that their problem is that they are lazy, they do not want to work. That's why they are poor. I think it was Masiwa who then came to a rescue. she said some very mean words because she got married to a tycoon. To me, Masiwa is a business tycoon.
Yes.
That's the right word to describe him. You may want to find out the meaning of that word in your own time. So, here we are. The example is of a Masiwa who is a Gentile. When he finds a scripture, because of the distance between the Gentiles and God, they are likely going to draw their own conclusions about scripture. But when the Jews meet, they have boundaries. When we read the scriptures, we will never come up with the business entities. We have to find out about the promises of God. So Peter spoke about Psalm chapter 2. He discovered Christ. Paul preached from Psalm chapter 2. He discovered Christ. And this is a classic evidence of what I've said for the past hour. The Jews are closer to God. The Gentiles are far away from God. It's very easy for Gentiles to get lost. Look at what Masiwa did. It's very easy. Kuti azive kuti zvaMwari hazvitangire kumakambani edu, zvotangira kuzvipikirwa zvakataurwa naMwari. Asati atiudza Masiwa kuti Mabhisarema yaitaura nezvemabhizinesi ake, aifanirwa kutanga ambotitaurira sungano yakaitwa naMwari nemadzitateguru ake Masiwa. Ndokunobva nhau dzekunamata. Dzinobva kusungano yakaitwa nemadzitateguru. Ndoiri kunzi naPauro isu tiri vana vemadzitateguru. Akanga apuwa zvipikirwa naMwari. NdiPeter ari kutaura kawo. Anoti muri vana vevaprofita. Pauro anotaurawo kuti the promises that were made to the fathers by God, He has fulfilled them to us, their children. Before you tell us that the scripture was talking about you, tell us about the promises. Tell us about the covenants that God entered with your forebearers. Dzinza rekwamaziwa rinofanira kunge rine zvipikirwa zviri kumashure, musati mati ndindairewa. Ungangotora vhesi kuti ndowairewa here, iverengeka ndipasta. Ndoda kuti muverenge reshona kana minaro. Ndoda kuti riverengwe Mabasa chapter 13 verse 32. Imimi verengai Mabasa chapter, read Elder Acts chapter 3 verse 25. Before you tell us that the scripture was talking about you, tell us about the promises made to the forefathers. Yes.
And we declare unto you great tidings, how that the promise which was made unto the fathers, God hath fulfilled the same unto us their children.
Mazvona. Promise yakaitwa kupi? Kumadzibaba. Saka Masiwa asati azviona paPsalm chapter 2 verse 8. Taifanira kunge tine zvimwe zvipikirwa zvaMwari zvakarehwa naMwari kumadzibaba ake. Acts chapter 3 25 verenga reshona ini vamwani vakuti zvazvizvi kureva izvi.
Imi muri vanakomana vavaprofita.
Zvino Masiwa mwana wemuprofita anodzai.
Nevesungano.
Yes.
Yakaitwa naMwari namadzibaba enyu.
Kune sungano. Kunofanirwa kunge kuine sungano yakaitwa naMwari nemadzibaba ake Masiwa. Handiti? Saka zviri kuhere izvozvo? Hakuna. Kungosvika paPsalm chapter 2 ndindairewa. Sakutorwa mombe dzangu rino. Hazviitwe zvichidaro Masiwa. Uri medheni wewe kufanana nesu. Hauna magwaro aitaura nezvako, aitaura nezvekuuya kwako, uchizotanga Econet kana Mascom kana Liquid kana Zou kana chi. Hakuna izvozvo. Mabhizinesi ako ariko enderera mberi nawo. Dambudziko rako bedzi ndero tunoita mabhizinesi uchibira vanhu, uchitora mari zvechisimba, uchikwidza mitengo usingatarise kutambudzika kuri kuita vanhu vari munyika mauri kuita bhizinesi. Zimbabweans are the people that made Masiwa who he is today.
Yes.
If there's a country where Masiwa's services should be the cheapest, it is Zimbabwe, his home country. It gave him all the capital that he used to start all these businesses that is now well known for. The poor people of Zimbabwe, the nurses and the teachers, the police officers and the soldiers, the vendors, and the uncles and the aunties in the villages, by supporting his businesses, they gave him capital to start all these big businesses. He must plow back to the community by reducing his tariffs, knowing very well that the people can't afford even a standard meal on account of economic challenges emanating from an irresponsible government. That's what a God-fearing business person will do. If
all right, you know, one of the reasons why I play this, I really normally spend my time on these kind of things, but I've got reasons. This man has got a lot of following, you know, but I realize that there's a lot of things that people are missing when it comes to his commentaries. He comments, and most of the times he bastardizes people, or he actually take people to hell immediately. Because he just lack understanding. You know, he's an incredible teacher. Maybe he teaches the word. I'm not there to judge him, but I feel like there's a disconnect between a business that he does and his spirituality. And the scriptures were never meant to say, because the scripture was written by David, talking about his family, then I don't have to read it because it wasn't me. No, the scriptures were written so that we can see, you know, how those people were living. Either we're going to be inspired, we are going to be rebuked, we are going to be taught, or we are going to be enlightened, one way or the other. So scriptures were never meant to say, oh, just because it wasn't you, it wasn't being said to you, it was being said to the Israelites. It simply means that the way God may have done to the Israelites, it may happen now, or we may also learn one way or the other, how we can respond to the ways of God. So I think many people who follow these pastors who are always bastardize people online don't really understand that some of those people are very bad to their souls. You know, a pastor's job or a teacher is not to bastardize another person. It's mainly to teach you the word. You decide what you like, if it's right for you or it doesn't work for you, it works for you or it doesn't work for you. But that again, if someone does something wrong, it's okay for them to point it out in a respectful manner. But I'm saying Masiwa is a businessman. And let me tell you, I experienced something when there was a time I went to Zimbabwe with the roaming. I roamed my line. I was like, I'm good. And I connected to Econet with MTN. Yeah, I never used it, but I came back. I had to pay nearly 5,000. Was it about 3,500 rands? Which is far beyond whatever I could pay. I mean, I can't spend that money on my phone. But I did. But honestly, I did not use that phone in Zimbabwe. And it was connected to Econet. And my brother, I remember my brother was working for Econet at that time. He was like, so why didn't you just tell me I would have given you a phone and a line? I'm like, I don't know. I roamed it thinking maybe it was going to be easier for me. But that was the worst I ever did. The money I came and paid here, I was very, very upset. But I had to pay it because it was a contract. You know, so all I'm saying is that because of our currency, there's no stable currency. It makes it harder for most business people to really have a stable, stable charges. Because every time when the dollar falls, you're all over the place. But I also think that it's important to open a way for competition. Very important. Remember, MTN wanted to come to Zimbabwe ahead, and even Vodacom, they were not given that opportunity ahead. Give them the opportunity so that people can decide what's cheaper for them. People can choose. But having to do with only Econet, it was Econet and Tel1, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that Telus is still working, that Makamba brand, is it still there, that line? Again, it boils down to corruption. Nothing works when the politics is wrong. Let's just leave it that way. In the words of my brother Ali, who always say, nothing works as long as the politics is not right. He's telling the truth. Nothing works. Again, politicians are the ones that are causing a mess. I've told you, I'm not going to have no respect for any politician who's dirty. No, these people have caused problems. I'm not going to have no mercy on them. Not anymore. Time for having mercy is gone. Now it's fire for fire. You do nonsense, you get nonsense back. Sorry, we can't be sitting anymore and allow you being used by the devil to ruin our lives and we're just going to smile at you. It's enough. Now you do nonsense, it's coming back at you. That's how it works. We are sick and tired. Give other people a platform. Let styling come through. Let Zimbabweans be happy for at least. We need to be happy. We need to live a normal life. Stop manipulating, the situation. I remember I met another woman who was doing business somewhere. I can't mention a lot of information because I could hear the way she was speaking and she's waiting for Minister so-and-so to do it. And I knew it was all boils down to corruption. They were putting their markups there so that they could endorse the deal. I remember that, but I didn't want to get much involved because if I say more, people will be able to pick up who are the people. But I'm just telling you, the world is very small. It's a small world. It's a small world, Zimbabweans. It's a small world. Majority of you are not even hiding anyway because we know your stories. It's a small world. All right, so we're going to move on, please. We're going to move on to this. I think it's that era where God is cleaning Zimbabwe, in my opinion. God is cleaning Zimbabwe in a way that is so intense. I don't know for those who can see it. If you are doing wrong, you better stop. You better stop. Now, stop it. This county church, this church that was keeping people... Just honestly, I don't know what's going on in this country. I ask myself questions like, where will be the members of parliament? We look at councillors. We have my chiefs who also have Masabuk. We have my social worker, all manner of things. If this church has been keeping people for years, my question is, no one knew. No one knew. But some people are saying there was a time Muchangwa went to that church. Chris Muchangwa went to that church. There was a time you went there to the church. And I'm asking myself, and nobody knew that these people were literally keeping a lot of families, against their will. Take a listen to him, what he's talking about. So many things are so wrong. When politics is wrong, nothing ever works.
Tinokumbira kuhurumende vachiuya pagiraundi chaizvo kuti vangada vakatoya kare takagara navo pasi tinoda kuti vazive chinamato chedu isusu hachisi chokuverenga mumagwaro. Chinamato chedu isusu takachidzidziswa naMwari akabhalisa zviga nezvitsindi zvake zvakati kuti imimi mugone kunokwana mudenga dzvene rake muchafamba nepapo kuti musasangana nenhamo nematambudziko muchafamba nepapapo. Isusu takadzi vana vedu ava vaende kuzvikoro zvakesari kurati kuzvikoro zvezvi zvamunoti maformal education zvezvi hazvidikanwi naMwari nokuti chinonodzidziswa imomo mukati mechikoro imomo chinopesana nezvino zvaMwari. Mwari isi akatidzidzisa kuti mukangoendesa vana kuchikoro kumvura hainayi izvo tiri kuona kunze kuri kuomerwa asi kunoku muri kuzviona kuti kuna madhagu emvura. Tikangotangoendesa vana vechikoro ivava kureva kuti isusu tatsindira kuti mwena kana kuti chitubu chemvura. Isusu hatina munhu watinorambidza kuti auye kwatiri achizoona mararamiro atinoita nezvizvo atinoita kunyange inguvayi akasununguka kuti auye. Asi isusu chatisingakwanisa kuti tiite ndechekupesana naMwari wedu. Isi takapiwa chipo chespiritual iye yekuti izwi raMwari rikataura tinorinzwa tobva tatitevedzera. Asi nekuda kwokuti vanhu vari kunze kumanje vanototoita zvokufunga vanobva panga tine nharo hadzisi nharo asi kuteedzera muronga unoita kuti tisapinde mumadzidzo nematambudziko nhamo zvirwere zvese zviri kubva pakutadzira Mwari. Ezvekunze uko pane vaiti vanonzwa mweya vakamisirira nyika izvozvi nyika ikutambudzika. Isu pavauya ava tati tifunga kuti vauya zvino kuzobvunza kuti topona sei ndozvatatakatarisia zvokuti dai vauya ndatovataurira inini chete 15 minutes dzakawandisa kuti munge mapiwa gwara nokuti muziva kuti izvo takunobata apa neapa neapa tobva tatowina nhau yedu nokuti uyu ndiMwari wemazviro kwazvo. Kunze kwese vanoti isusu tavatambi.
So this man is saying that their church, they don't believe in sending kids to school. So a lot of kids they're not going to school. Guys, this was like a shrine. I don't... My pastor remembers that they've got a lot of issues. This church here. These are Madara and Toravana, my 13, 14 years. And this needs to be arrested, these people. I don't understand the God that they serve. Like, something is wrong about all these churches. Majority of cults have really messed up Zimbabwe, honestly. Standing up fake prophets who always after clout. These people needs to be stopped. Now I'm respecting Kagame. Remember Kagame, what he did? He blocked most of this. He said, I need a degree of theology to a kind of choro. You are a genuine person who wants to really teach the word. Because look how many lives that they're destroying. Many lives. Kids are not going to school. Women, guys, don't forget what happens with manipulation. Again, it's going to make me talk. You know the issue of TB Joshua, which I don't know if that was the case, but I'm saying, when you keep people in a place and you close your doors, and they don't have access to meet other people outside, what kind of people can they be? And others will say, no, but it's not true. You saw it. You saw the police went there and pulled all these children, wives who were busy screaming, you are taking our husbands. They are messed up mentally. There's a lot of manipulation that happens, hijacking people's brains. If there ever be a disease that has ruined Zimbabwe, is the issue of the minds. People have been ruined mentally, like majority of people live like they are psychopaths. They can't even operate like normal people or think like normal people. These are real cults, y'all. You saw what happened yesterday when people went to dance at the airport to dance for Java because he bought 2 ambulances. Don't forget he was part and parcel of that Mbuzi project. Remember when he used to move around there with the helmet and the reflector? And then what happened? They disappeared. Now you can't see them anymore. And then the project ceased. That 40 million that they said, $40 million was paid. And they buy 2 ambulances, lie to people, deceiving people all over the world. And you see, you go around jumping. Guys, this 2024, a lot of people that you're calling papas, they are cults from hell. I heard today another pastor talking about that the marine kingdom is godly. As they cause the rain to fall or not. No, you could have said they block the rain to fall because it's a sin before God. Marine kingdoms are satanic. Manjuzu, it's a wicked satanic kingdom that literally keeps people at ransom. That's why Zimbabwe is messed up. It's because of satanic cults that have hijacked and take over the nation. It's the truth. If that is not sorted, we're always going to remain the same place, roaming around, doing nothing. It's sad. It is sad. Honestly, it is sad. I just want to know what's going to happen with this story. What are they going to do with the children, the women that were literally pegged there? And man, as you know, our God, we hear God and says we don't go to school. Whatever you mentioned about Kasif, whatever the word that he said. Ignorance. 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 It's really sad. I don't know if I have to, if I can talk about Wikinel again, but because Wikinel touched a man that I respect. You know Nicholas Zakaria? You know when he sang that song where he was saying Tiriva Mamwe Chete, whatever. He went after him again today. Guys, honestly, as much as I want to talk about Wikinel, I think Zimbabweans, we have a lot of introspection. Again, I don't blame, it's poverty. That's what poverty does. Poverty messes people up, unfortunately. It does mess people up. I think Mazbaba just went doing his own thing, went to a garage, and I don't know what happened there. He was kind of advertising something, and Wikinel started shouting at him. That is Wikinel Shivayo. It's shouting at Mazbaba Nicholas Zakaria. It's sad, man. It is sad. This boy needs to be, again, like I said, how can he change when other people are busy, like, you know, this my Murishi Baba, you know, he does wrong. Some people are celebrating him. How can he change to be a better person in society? Right now he thinks, oh, Zimbabweans are stupid. We loot their money, we come back and give them the car, and, you know, and they worship us. The bottom line is they're desperate for clout. The satanic kingdom's goal is to be worshipped. You get this right. It is always about material things. By the way, life is not about material things, for your own information. It's not. Houses, it's normal to have a house. You need a shelter. A car, right? A car, it's normal. You can just moving from point A to point B. It's nothing. But because they've realized that people are so gullible, that if I give them the car, they forget about their destiny. And people are becoming so crazy about material things, whatever it takes. That's why there's so much pain in the nation. They would say, whatever it takes for me to have a car, whatever it takes for me to live like I'm fancy or I'm rich, I can hate people the way that I want because I just want to be considered being part of the rich and famous. So it's not becoming a satanic cult that is literally destroying lives because people just want to be part and parcel of a group. You call them elites. I call them cowards. They are cowards. Cowards who simply have no capacity to respect competition. If they're genuinely business people, open the door for competition. Open the door. Open the door for competition. Why are you blocking other people and want to bring the business in the country? Because you're afraid of truth, right? Do you remember when Chanakira asked Muchangwa and said, you talk about billionaires all the time. We also want to be part and parcel of those businesses. What did he say to them? No, you guys don't have money. But Chanakira has got money. He owns banks out of the country. But you know why? Because they don't want truth. They want to keep lying to people. Billionaires, but most of our people are suffering. And that lady was right when she said, but most of the people in the grassroots don't even have even $1 in their pockets. So when you talk about the billionaires, what are you referring to? It's simply manipulation, lies. Show us the billions. We can only know that there are billions in the country when our people are exposed to those billions and they have the money in their pockets. Not a few. I said even the people in the rural should know that we really have billionaires. Young people should be employed. Then we know there are billionaires who are running businesses in the country. It's just lies. It's lies. It's a season of just lying to people and want to get away with it. You wonder why cults are thriving in the country. How can they not thrive? They can't thrive because there is a sin in the nation. The rain can't fall because there is a sin in the nation. There are lies that are being spoken. There is hate, pain among our people. For suffering. Some people going to bed without no food in their stomach. It's happening as I'm speaking right now. With this El Nino thing, it's going to be bad. I've heard people questioning the government today and said, you said we were food secure. But here we are seeing that we actually have nothing. What are you going to explain? What are you going to say about that? It's sad. That's why I'm not having mess with any dirty politician. Guys, I just wish to know some of these names. We'll put them on record. Yo, we're going to come after you. We'll come after you. And it's not a joke. We mean business. We'll come after you. Some of you will run away. You want to be known in the streets because you know your name is messed up. You have no more respect in the society because of how you have caused pain. The way he talks to people, weak now, unbelievable. This young man is talking to Mazibaba. You know, Nicholas Zakaria is like my father. I'm older than Wikino Shivayoga. I'm 41. I'm sure Wikino is young man. He just have a big body, but he's young. Mazibaba Nicholas Zakaria is like my daddy. I would talk to him with respect. I can't just speak to him anyhow. But no, that's the society we built. Because you are kind of part and parcel of a certain group. You talk to even old people like they're nothing. The men never talk about you and giving the cars, but hear what he said to him. He said, Munumukuru, listen, this is weak now. Munumukuru anongoti makadi vashivayo. Listen to that. Dinotenda nebasa rakanaka ramuri kuita kumasowe ne kubaimbi. Chikumbiro changu shinoti kana zikaza tambanuka kumberi kana zikazo. I think that's what he wanted to say. Zikazo tambanuka kumberi uye mundi iye ukeo ndini wenyu Mazibaba Nicholas Zakaria wopedza. Hear this. Zino manje apa zvakuita kunge pane mosha kana kuti pane demand yekuti pano fanira kufamba nepombi garai makaziva kuti I don't owe anyone anything, uye munhu ane mari yake anoita zvaanoda nayo uye haudzirwe. Kusvika mamudzisa kuishanda hamukwanise kumuudza mashandiro ayo. Maonero angu chete handisi kurwa. This Nicholas Zakaria never said anything. This is how Chivhu is responding to him. Now I want to hear how Nicholas responded. It hurts me, it breaks my heart. I know that is the end of this nonsense that's going on in the country. It's like, because I was asking a question today, I said, where to from here? Where to from here? Because you guys have reached like the last point. Where to from here? Maonererwa to the last point. Makwenda kupi from here. Where are we going? So Nicholas responded, he said, a letter to Sewikno Chivhu. He said, chivimbo changu kuti makachengetwa, uye Mwari ari kuramba achiropafadza neupenyu nezvose zvamungadai muri munoshuwira. Ndangoti ndikwanisewo nepandinogona kuti nditaurewo about the video circulating on social media. As you can see in that video, ndaiwawo pagarage kuti ndigadzirisewo motokari yebasa. Semwana weZimbabwe zvakakoshawo kuti ndipewo pakubatsira hama neshamwari pakuadvertise mabasa avanoita. In that video ndakabvunza kumwewo nechinangwa chekuti ndine shunguwo yekuti garage rehama yangu yepedyo izikanwe. Kwandiri it was more of an advert. Tichitawo kana yazoita toonesa ruzhinji kuti kana maitawo matambudziko munokwanisawo kuuyawo mogadzisa mota yenyu ipapo. Zvichida message yakasvika kwamuri nenzira isiriyo. Tinoti dai matiregererawo hantipo pakunongera vapfumi kuti dai madai and madai. That's deep. Ndingatowanikwa pakukunamatirai murambe muchipa mablessings kuvana veZimbabwe zvishuwo zvavo zvizadziswe. Ndinoziva chaizvo kuti there are millions of Zimbabweans who wish me well pakurarama. I've come across so many comments and posts anoti dai maitirawo vaZakaria zvakadai nechakadai. That alone gives me joy nekuti ndinoziva kuti ndinoziva kuti dai Mwari anichengeta nemuzita ravo nekusingaperi. Thank you, Nicholas Zakaria. So, Nicholas Zakaria was just doing an advert, and Wikino being Wikino, because remember he gave the card to other guy who has been singing with Nicholas Zakaria. What's his name? Alex Macheso. You know, they once had a song. I know of these singers. My dad has got all this collection of songs, so I know. And he thought him advertising, it was like he wanted a car from him. You know, like, because people are just begging for a car online. He thought Nicholas Zakaria wanted a car, and he didn't. He didn't. He was just, you know, he was just doing an advert. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I think Zimbabwe is just full of, like you know, I really just, I can't wait to see where Chivhu is going. I'm waiting to see where this is going to end. And I think this is like the last straw. Like, it's that when you know, the last thing that you do and God is like, it's enough, you know. One thing that I've realized about most people you call elites don't fear God. But let me tell you, God is going to show them the other side of him that will shock in the country. Wait and see what's going to happen. Mwari hatambwe naye ndikutaurire. Mwari hatambwe naye. Animoziya. You can do all your drama, but hey, there will be a time where he says it is enough. He's very patient. He's a father. So you let you stretch and stretch. My mom used to say, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, Makaita zvese mukafunga ndakafanana nemi, but one day ndichakubvamburai. I, God Almighty, will show you who I am. You'll be shocked. But you know, Olinda being Olinda responded, because Olinda and Chivhu, they're kind of having exchanges. Said, go back kudzinza rako unodzidziswa respect. Kana kumasowe kune chiremera. You don't disrespect someone old enough to be your father. Like I said, like he's old enough to be my dad. Even if he was young, you know, whatever. Respect is just good for your soul. Munhu anoita ma-DNA test on his own son. Now it's, yeah, that's deep. Oh, okay, so this is becoming personal. Munhu anoita ma-DNA test on his own son sure dzakakwana here. I mean, it shows that you even doubt, okay, that's becoming very personal. So he said, Sekuru Zakaria, please send me the bill for your mechanic. Small Munwashe. We love you and we respect you. So Olinda came and come after him. Again, their drama, which is not none of my business. Married people should just focus on their marriages. We as single people, let's do whatever we are doing. Moving on, please. I can't spend time on this drama. I don't have time. Okay, relationship advice. Let me tell you, apparently I was having a chat with someone who wanted to have a discussion of this, but I was like, I'm not going to do it because I'd rather just come here and address this issue on this YouTube channel because I know people who listen to it. I'm a sister's keeper. Like, I love my brothers, but I want you to learn something. These are the single ones. I want you to learn something very powerful and important. Shadaya, he was talking about, women who are like hardworking women who are successful. So this was a comment that he passed. He said, because most educated and financially stable women tend to make their whole personalities revolve around their degrees and income. They are obnoxious, condescending, and aggressive. No man with self-respect can put up with such an insufferable woman. So someone had said, why do men avoid educated women who are financially stable? That was a question. Then Shadaya responded, because most educated and financially stable women tend to make their whole personalities revolve around their degrees or income. They are obnoxious and condescending and also aggressive. No man with self-respect can put up with such an insufferable woman. So I'm going to say this. The moment you meet a woman who puts her job first, before the respect that she has for you, red flag. I'll tell you facts. Nothing, absolutely nothing in this world, be it my career, be it maybe money in my bank account, be it my dress, be it my face, will ever make me disrespect a man that I love. I'll tell you facts. Unless if I don't love him. It's that simple. It's two things, whether I love or I don't. Nothing. So men need to understand sometimes a woman just doesn't love you. You need to make peace with it. Don't make it an issue for everybody. He just does not love you. It's as simple as that. And accept it and move on. And look for someone who loves you. As a matter of fact, I always encourage men to say, you rather marry a woman who works. I'm going to explain to you why. It's because if a woman doesn't work, how will she pay the bill? She's going to sell her body, correct? Unless if she's young from her mom's house. But you can't tell me a 41-year-old like I'm not working, but you just see me living a life. You could ask yourself, who sponsors my life? Someone is. It's a common sense that any person who's out of their mom and daddy's house should be working. That's why this parameter, I left my daddy's house when I was 21. You must get out. My dad doesn't play. You go outside and work and build your own life. And I'm thankful that my dad did so because it doesn't bother me. I've been doing this. I've been paying my bills since I was young. Today, I pay my bills. Everything you see in my house is my hard-earned money. No man ever bought stuff in my house. TV, everything I bought with my hard-earned money. So that can show you I work. But that doesn't mean that if I meet a man today, I put whatever I have first. No, I put the man that I love first. So upbringing is very important when you meet a woman. Check the lifestyle, a family life, how she treats people. If a woman put whatever she has first, that's a red flag. Let her go. Because whatever I have is simply because if I want to have a nice kettle, the only way to have it is to work for it. It's that simple. I can't. If I want to dress nice, what do? I go to work and buy the dress, right? There's no any other way around. But I can't sabotage what I love just because I'm trying to please the world and say, oh, I can't work because people are going to say that. No, I'm going to go to work, make sure I dress nice, and I'm happy. So if a man comes and find me, he will love me for who I am, and I'll love him for who he is. But if you find a woman who's going to put whatever material things they have first, then you know that you are not the one. And make peace with it and move on. That's simple. That's simple. It's actually a blessing to find a woman who works because the Bible, Proverbs 31 woman, I want you to go and read Proverbs 31 woman. It talks about a woman who works. The Bible talks about, which means each and every one of us, whether you're a man or woman, we are called for a purpose. We didn't just come here to be roaming around and just leeching on people. No, we were called to work. That's Proverbs 31 woman. That's a wife material. That you call an independent woman, right? Right? Somebody says a billionaire can easily marry a cashier, but an educated woman can. You see, if you find a cashier attractive and have the qualities of being a wife, as a matter of fact, there's nothing wrong with her career. She's a wife. If she's got qualities of a wife, go ahead and marry her. I'll tell you why. Check, you guys watch my stories at Tinashe Mugabe, right? The women you see, are they hardworking women? Are they career women? Most of them that you see cheating on their husband and they have kids with other men. It boils down to character and upbringing. It has nothing to do with your career. Nothing, absolutely nothing. What makes me be a good woman is not because of my career. It's because of how I was raised. So upbringing is important. Check your family life. And check the family life. Don't pretend like I said check the family life. Because most of y'all, you pretend. Like you don't check, you pretend. When you're in love, you forget about really checking and say, yeah, what's up? Like with this, you know, you pretend. You don't want to check at important issues, right? Majority of men or women do the same. When you're in love, you're like, I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I'm not, Open your eyes, y'all. Check family life. Family life is important. Because let me tell you, there is no miracle that happens on the altar when a person says, I do. There is no miracle. If a person was evil from the mom's house, they come with their evil into your house. So no miracle when you say, I do. What literally builds the character of a person is upbringing every day. How she treats her parents, how she respects her parents, how she treats her family members. It will show how she's going to treat your parents and your relatives. Because marriage is not a one side. It's not my husband and I. No, there's family. Yeah. How she understands family. Very important. So good career, let me tell you. I'll tell you, me, I'm a career woman. I'm a career woman. I'm telling you, I've been an independent woman for a long time. But if I marry a man today, I know my place. I know that much. I'm much aware. I know my place. And I know his place. I know his leadership. No matter, I can tell you, I'm much aware of my place. You know, a lot of things. You see, my brother is sharing quite a number of things that you must learn. I know my place. One day I was asking my sister, I said, what is the myth that most people think, like a myth? When you see what I'm talking here, right? When I come in comment on politics thing, it's majority of you think the person you know is what you see when I comment on politics, correct? It's not your fault because that's what you know. But those that truly know me are the people that stays with me. So because I'm coming and maybe I sit and talk about more than an hour and a half, because I'm a teacher. I'm a Bible teacher, so I teach the Bible. And I sit here for more than an hour, right? And some of you already, maybe you say, you already know me. Some of us, I talk too much. Then boom, you stay with me, you realize I'm not even that kind of person. And you're going to get a shock. That's why it's very important to actually be able to spend time with someone and get to know who they are, not what you see outside or online. That's not who the person is. Spend time with someone, then you are able to know the kind of a person he or she is. And be honest and be frank. Don't lie to yourself. Be honest. But career women can actually be amazing because you know what? Life has no balance. You know, God forbid, you wake up tomorrow, you marry someone, and maybe you get involved in a car accident, you no longer work. Kids have to be fed in the house. You must be taken care of. Money needs to be worked on. What are you supposed to do? Let a woman go and work and support you. What's wrong with that? If you're married and then she can take care of other bills and you're all build together, what's wrong with that? Makes your life easier. Yeah, I wouldn't want to ask my husband, I want to phone him. I go to the shop, I buy stuff, he comes home, he finds me cooking dinner and eat. What's wrong with that? Don't just hear statements that people say out there and you'll be running with them. Spend your time and check the person that you're truly dating. Get to understand, because people are different. Just because you met someone who was not a good person, who may have one way or the other the same characteristics with the person that you're meeting, it doesn't mean that every person you meet are bad people. Spend your time. I guess some people need to heal first before they move to the next relationships, because it's very easy to be projecting your anger on the wrong person. Listen, I know I've come across people like that before. They've met very broken women in their lives, and they try to project that on me. I'm like, oh, sorry. Sorry, don't do that. So sometimes all you need is to heal. Go through your healing process. And then when you're done, you meet someone, you really get into a relationship. The problem is I think the major problem that I've seen with the relationships, you are too much. You rush kumagumbeza, then you don't have time to really talk about important things. And then because you don't talk about important things, you find yourself in the very compromised positions. You are just meeting a woman, or you're rushing kumagumbeza, or you're meeting a man, kumagumbeza. Don't do that. Spend your time knowing the person without sex in the place. Take away the sex because it clouds your judgment when you're in a relationship with someone, and get to know the person. Yo, you're gonna have all the sex that you want in the world when you marry. So what's the rush for? What's the rush for? What's for? Spend your time knowing the person, what they love, what they don't like, especially on a family life. Guys, family life is important. I've seen very broken women, and they said, I want to be married. I'm like, girl, you're going to be the most toxic person where you're going? Because they are people. So if in your mama's house we're toxic, you're going to be toxic there. If you're a man who can't respect, if you can't respect your sisters, you can't love people in your family, you're still going to be a bad person in that marriage. Nothing changes. Remember? Nothing changes on the altar when you say, I do. Nothing changes. As a matter of fact, it amplifies your character that is flawed. Because now it's head-on collision. You are horrible. At your mom's house, now it's head-on. Yo, you are seeing this man every day. No, this woman every day. And your character comes out. You just need to work on your character and be a good person. That's why I've always said it's important to be a good person. Because when you're a good person, it's easier. You know how to navigate. When you're dealing with people, you know how to communicate properly. You can communicate your feelings properly. And you know how to press the right buttons at the right time. That's wisdom. That's why wisdom is profitable to direct. There's no rush. Take your time to know the people. Don't bash because she works. If I don't work, I can't pay my bills. So would you want a woman who's selling a body? No, you don't want. You want a wife, isn't it? A wife material has to have the characteristics of a wife from the mother's house. Not from your house, from the mother's house. Marriage don't just happen when you become a marriage material from your mom's house. And then you get married. Not to say, I will learn when, no, you don't learn when, you learn when you're still single. You can't be a doctor and say, I'm going to learn on the job. No, learn from your mom's house. That's why a single phase is important. To work on yourself, understand how family works, make mistakes, pay the bills. Sometimes lose your job so that next time if your husband or your wife lose the job, you understand how to deal with it because you have lived the life. That's why most people are crying today. Most people are divorcing because they've never been single. May God bless you and may God bless Zimbabwe. We'll talk more on the relationship part, but I just want to help you and say, no, there's nothing wrong with a woman that works. There's everything wrong with a woman that has a bad character. It has nothing to do with the job. It has everything with character. Upbringing being the most important part. Upbringing. Check the mother's house. Especially those ones that use anger to communicate. A red flag. Use your mouth. Because God gave you a mouth to speak. Proverbs, go and read Proverbs 31. It will show you how a wife should be. As a matter of fact, Proverbs 31 is an independent woman that men are running away from. That's a wife material. That's Proverbs 31. Read the Bible with understanding, not what people are saying. As a matter of fact, mainstream media is ruining lives by teaching wrong. All the time. No, you must be feminine. It's you can sit around and when you are going for dinner, you can just order a cup and you can drink the way that you want. And yeah, you can wake up and the child is hurt. You're gonna have to throw everything away and you're on your way. Or you can wake up and pray, tell the devil to get out. So there's time for everything. You know what I mean? And as a matter of fact, femininity is having the qualities of a woman. It's not sitting properly like people will say, no, when you meet a man, you go for dinner. That's what mainstream media is teaching you. When you go out for dinner, you must make sure that you sit and cross your legs. And he said, listen, I'm a woman, so I know what I'm talking about. You know, you're going to sit there and make sure that you sit properly and eat your dinner. You must make sure you're going to take your fork and knife and you're going to cross and you sit and look into his eyes. And when you talk, you must look into his eyes and hear him. Femininity means you know your place as a wife, that you can cook, you are domesticated, you can offer. It's an issue of having qualities, like, you know, those qualities of our moms. Our moms know their position. They knew I'm a wife. Those are femininity traits. Not all that mainstream media is painting. That's why your celebrities can have all the femininity in the world that you are projecting that is correct, that is not correct, and still divorce. Because femininity is not pretending. It's knowing that you are a woman and you know your place, you know your responsibilities as a wife. You can offer coffee to someone. You make sure that his shirts are ironed on time. You make sure that you prepare dinner on time. You have to consider you need to give him time to rest. That's a femininity traits. Notice the not one this mainstream media of telling you, no, you can just walk in and you say, I can't clean. Yeah, I can. Nah. Don't let people teach you the wrong things. We'll talk more, and as I'm gonna go with the teachings, because I think, there's a lot of brokenness and lies that is just going on in the streets. God is so good. May God bless you, and may God bless Zimbabwe. You must sleep tight, y'all. If you just wake up, you have a great one, and we'll see you tomorrow. Don't worry, we'll talk more about relationships. We'll talk a lot about relationship. You know what I mean? A lot. It's peaceful, nurturing, faithful, wise. Not a woman who sleeps with everyone on the street. Another red flag. Don't marry a woman who's sleeping everywhere. Nothing will change when she marries you. She'll sleep everywhere. Same applies to men too. A person who can't control their sexual appetite is not a candidate for marriage. Sorry, you're not. You must be a person who respects your body, not what people say. I don't care what the world is saying. I'm talking about the facts. Because marriage is not for people who are not serious. It's for genuine, authentic people who are there to build a home, to raise a strong family and children. It requires commitment, sacrifice. It just doesn't happen by mistake. It requires a lot. I can't raise children when I'm going to sleep around. Because the time I'm sleeping around, I should be with my kids around the table and teach them, talking to them, spending time with your children, not spending time with strange women on the streets. They will do absolutely nothing into your life except destroying you. You come back with negative energy to ruin your own children. That's not wisdom. And the wisdom is profitable to direct. Bless you all.